Hey guys, Steve here, and welcome back to the running segment of the channel. It is Training Tips Tuesday, and this is the day that I set aside to talk about everything running. And we're about a week away from February, and February 1st is the day that I start my half marathon training. That gives me 12 weeks to get prepared for my Illinois half marathon, which I'm very much looking forward to. It always seems like in between races, it seems like it's such a long stretch in between races. So to run a race like that, I'm always excited to do. Anyway, I want to talk a little bit how to get prepared for your half marathon, what to do nutritionally, and steps to take to be ready for race day, aside from just training. There's a few things you need to do. Naturally, nutritionally, you really want to start paying attention to what you eat. You're going to be, during training, you're going to be putting in a lot of miles throughout a week. You're going to be probably running more than you normally do, or have been doing since the winter months started. A lot of people don't get a whole lot of running in, or they kind of fall off their program a little bit, or their schedule during the winter months, and kind of start to gradually get back on during the spring. Now naturally I start training during the winter months, so I'm ready by spring for a race. So watch your nutrition, try to stay on track, try to watch what you eat, try to eat things that are going to give you energy, that are going to help your muscles recover. And I could go into all those types of foods, but just look it up. Look up a good runner diet for training. There's loads of foods, high energy foods and things like that that'd be great for your body. Protein for muscle growth, potassium and things like that for muscle recovery, different things for muscle recovery. Just watch your nutrition. Nutrition is super important, and it is a total part of the training process to be ready for a half marathon. Nutrition is very important, and along with nutrition is proper hydration. And I know I say it all the time, but it is that important. So just consider nutrition and hydration and things like that. Liquid carbs, you can do liquid carbs such as low calorie drinks. Black coffee is a good liquid carb. Different things to drink aside from just water, but water is very important. So there you have that. Paying attention to nutrition is key in being prepared for my spring, or if you're planning a spring half marathon or a spring big race. Paying attention to nutrition is key towards reaching your goal of hitting the finish line. And now, you have to stay on schedule. A schedule is very, very important when training for a half marathon. A schedule is super important, and will help keep you motivated and will help keep you on track. If you just try to go out there and just run and work on trying to gain miles, and hopefully you're ready for a race, you have to be a little more organized than that. If you're planning on running a half marathon, you have to be a little more organized. So you have to plan out a schedule and work on a half marathon training program of some sort. Now, I have one that I use every year, and it is kind of one that I've developed for me. Now, I used a half marathon training program as a foundation, but I kind of tweaked this one and kind of have made it adapted to myself, which everybody runs differently. Everybody has to train differently. Now, there is basics that people always follow as far as training goes, but everybody kind of does their own thing. Once you've kind of ran a few big races, you kind of know what you need to do to be prepared, and I know that. So, but being on a schedule is very important and is a must if you want to be ready for your spring race, your spring half marathon or full marathon, or whatever you plan on running. A schedule is super important. You have to be on schedule to help keep you on track. Now, let's talk a little bit about running in winter months. Now, that's what we're doing. We're running in the winter months to train for a full marathon, and that can be difficult because of weather and frigid cold temperatures, things that may kind of get in the way of us getting out the door or hinder us running. And as much as I don't want to tell you this is if you're in training and you can't get outside, you have to run indoors. Now, if you have access to an indoor track, you're blessed, and do that. If not, it's a treadmill. I hate the treadmill. I don't like it at all. I hate running indoors. I want to be out in the elements. I want to be running, but when the temperatures drop too low, or when the weather is just too bad, you have to either go to the gym, or if you have a treadmill of your own, run on a treadmill, or like I said, if you have an indoor track, use the indoor track. But you have to stay on schedule. So if running indoors is your only option, you have to use that option. And things like that. Keep a positive attitude, because training is going to be difficult. Training is not going to be easy at times, even for me. And I'm definitely not a veteran runner, but I've ran a few races and quite a few half marathons, and even all the years that I've been running for, I think, right around 5 years. Even all the years that I've been running, I have those days that are just brutal. Those days that I wonder if I have what it takes to get through the finish line of my next race. And you'll get to a point in training where you're tired. You've trained hard, and you get towards the end of training and you're tired. And your mind will tell you, and mine does this to me a lot, that maybe you're just not ready. You've put in all this time in training, you've put in all these miles. Keep a positive attitude. The best thing to do is just keep a positive attitude, especially on race day. Get your spirits up, get your attitude right, and just be there to run that race and enjoy it and appreciate it, and appreciate wherever you're running, and the people, the spectators cheering you on, who really don't even have to be there, but they're there to cheer you on throughout the community. Embrace every bit of that. That will keep your spirits up. That will keep you motivated and keep you heading towards that finish line. And there'll come a moment within that race where you kind of almost forget you're in a race. You get lost in your thoughts and things like that. And that's okay. I've got a little trick that I do. If I start feeling down, I start singing a song in my head. Nothing in particular, just, you know how you go throughout your day sometimes and just one song is stuck in your head for like a week. Well, and it happens all the time. Just start singing a song. Or start praying. I do that quite often too. But just start singing a song, and it'll kind of take your mind off of the pain and the tired, and it'll get you through a few miles. So positive attitude is super important. Now, if you're planning for a spring race, make sure you've got the right gear. Make sure your shoes aren't overmiled. That happens quite often. You go out running all the time, and you tend to forget that you've got to watch the mileage on your shoes. And if you plan on getting a new pair of shoes because your shoes have too many miles on them, you have to get those shoes broke in far before you start doing high miles. You don't want to get a brand new pair of shoes and try to do high miles. So the thing to do would be get your shoes before you start training, get a few short runs in before you start training, and then work into your miles through training with these shoes, and then by race day your shoes should be good and broke in and perfect for you to wear during race day. But gear is super important. Make sure that your shoes are in good shape and that you got the right, clothes and things like that. Be prepared, especially in springtime. You got to be prepared and be ready to either remove some clothes or put some on, because you never know in spring and April what the temperatures are going to be. They could be 50 degrees or 10 degrees. We just never know. So you have to be prepared on race day to either remove some clothing or put some back on, just so you're comfortable throughout the whole race. And on race day, once you get your shoes broke in and you have your clothing picked out and you're ready to go, don't change anything on race day. Stay with what you've been training in, stay with what you're comfortable in. That will also add for a better race experience. And that's just about it. Watch your nutrition, stay on a schedule, things like that, and watch your gear, and make sure your shoes are good enough to make it through training and a race. And if they're not, then you got to really kind of work into that. So, alrighty guys, there you go. That is Tuesday's training tip, half marathon training tip. Half marathon starts next week, next Tuesday. I will be out there doing a video of my training, and I'll stop and talk a little bit about what's going on out there and how my training has started and going. And I've been, up until this point, I've been watching nutrition, being very careful and picky and choosy about what goes into my body, and trying to do exercise aside from just running, because cross training is super important as well. And I'll throw this tip in there: don't just be a runner. You have to do other things that's going to work other muscles in your body to help you stay fit and strong to push miles. So there you have it, guys. I thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoy this segment of the channel, which is Training Tips Tuesday. Until next time, I will see you in my next video. Bye.